Guys, welcome back to EGTV, and sorry that we're late, guys. This was supposed to start at 10, but we started at 11, and it's actually 11:05. So my apologies for the punctuality. But I got a special guest for you guys today, and it's not his fault that we're late. It's my fault. Put all the blame on me. But big up to my guy Bhavs for coming on. Really do appreciate it coming on, bro. You know what, Bhavs, you're one of the first guys to actually tell me a little bit about how to do things and how to work things in the Arsenal YouTube game. So I really do appreciate you. And I just wanted to bring you on before the season to kind of run through some thoughts. And as you can see, the description of the video, Arteta is building a super team. We're going to be getting into what Arteta is actually building. And people, don't lose your heads. There's context to everything. But how you doing, bro?
Thank you, bro. I appreciate the invitation, as always. Love to talk to you. Obviously met you at the game on Saturday, so that was nice. And yeah, it's been a good day, and I'm excited to talk Arsenal.
Talk to me about your day, bro. I seen the picture. You met Gabriel Martinelli. It was like, what was that like?
No, it was amazing. It was actually quite a coincidence because I was in Westfield. So what I was doing is getting my new Arsenal kit, the black one. I was getting a Saka 7 on the back with the gold printing. So I went to the Adidas store in Westfields, and funny enough, my friend who was with me was like, "Get Martinelli on it." And I was like, maybe. I'm not too fussed about it. But I got Saka. So I'm walking around the Westfields. We've got time to kill as they print the shirt. My friend wanted to go to Louis Vuitton to buy a belt or something, so I went with him. And I mentioned it to him. I said, I'm surprised I haven't seen no footballers here because, you know, I'd expect there to be many footballers here. And as I said that, I looked up and I could just see Martinelli from like a distance with like, you could see his trim for the back. He's got like a very, you know, different trim. And I was like, that's Martinelli. And then what it was I had my different top on, but I had the Arsenal top in my bag. So I was like, I need to change my Arsenal top. So I went to the toilet, came back, took a photo, and yeah, I think I had little words. I just said to him, are you going to score 20 goals this season? He said, hopefully, and we'll see.
There you go. There you go. I have high hopes for Martinelli, man. He's one of the guys that I'm saying we got to watch out for. He's definitely one of the youngsters that needs to step up. And I think he's going to be keeping that spot from Emil Smith-Rowe. Not saying Emil Smith-Rowe is a bad player, but I just think he offers us a lot more going forward and defensively in comparison to what Emil Smith-Rowe offers us. But yeah, that's a crazy story. I had a train delay, so not as entertaining as what you had. I actually met up with some of the boys. I was doing some studio work with some of the guys. But let's just get into this preseason, because this preseason has been an interesting preseason, if I say the least. You know what? This preseason matters in my opinion, but it doesn't matter wins or losses. It matters about getting the camaraderie, the form, getting yourself going, getting yourself ready for the new season. And I think we've done that this season. What do you think?
No, I think wins do matter, because if you're a team and you're winning games of football, it gives you confidence, belief, you know, going into the season that you're ready. Now, if you're losing games, maybe it's a bit more doubt. Okay, do we need some more players? Maybe the manager might sign some players. Last season, we lost to Chelsea, lost to Spurs. It was not a good start. So you could tell that Brentford game wasn't going to be easy from the get-go. Whereas in comparison this season, you're winning games of football and playing some very good football. It's very exciting. And rightly so, you know. We've played some decent teams. And in the past years, we've beaten some big teams in pre-season, but that's at the start. So when we beat Bayern Munich, they were just getting ready on PSG those days, you know. That's the first few games of pre-season. It's actually better to judge these teams towards the end, because that's when players are back to full sharpness, full fitness, and then you can see where they're at. And our team looks amazing. Our starting 11 looks amazing in the game against Orlando when they came on, against Chelsea, and obviously against Sevilla as well. It looks very good, but there's a mental barrier, you know, against Crystal Palace. I'm sure a lot of the players that started against Newcastle will remember that game, or Palace last season, or even the game against Brentford. But this time round, I think we're ready. And the pre-season is really excited Arsenal fans. If you went to the game on Saturday like you were, the queue to get the shirts or the line for the stadium, it was crazy. Exactly. For going for years, I've not seen Arsenal fans this excited. So yeah, you got to keep it in check sometimes. You got to be careful what you say. But at the same time, this is football, man. You're meant to be excited, be happy. And if it doesn't work out, it is what it is. If it does, then brilliant. I don't see why fans are just so, like, sometimes they hold themselves in. They're like, don't want to get too excited. And what's the point of watching it if you're not getting excited?
You know what? The people who don't care about, like, slander or getting pushback are the people who genuinely just say their minds and do the best. I feel like if you hold back too much, you're holding back your true self. Don't be a fan. Don't let yourself be sucked into this thing where it's like, oh, I'm scared to get cooked by this guy, or I don't want to say something that sounds delusional. If you genuinely believe something, just say it. Like, a lot of people are out here saying William Saliba has the potential to be world class. I agree. I think he does. And people saying Gabriel Jesus has the potential to get 20 plus goals this season. All comps, definitely. In the league, probably not. I don't know. But let's get into the new signings. Because the preseason has been good. The new signings have been good. But before we do that, we have a new captain. What do you think about our captain choice? Ødegaard. I like Ødegaard. I think he's a good leader. And going to the games like you do, we get to see things that other people might not get to see. How he's always telling people where to go, telling people where to stand, telling people where to be. And I remember the first time I sat near the touchline, I seen him against Leicester and the North London derby, where he's just telling people where to go, what to do, telling people to press. And he's just like, I feel like he is a leader. But what do you think?
No, I agree. As you say, when you go to games, you can focus on Ødegaard specifically. You can see that he's very vocal, always pointing, and a captain is meant to be the manager on the pitch. So he is doing that. He is managing the team, when to press, when to go, when to hold back, and that's why he's the captain. The fact that he's been at Arsenal for less than 2 years and that he's a captain, it's not a surprise because he's the captain of his country. And you don't become the captain of your country at 22 without showing signs of leadership behind the scenes. Now, fans only really see the performances on the pitch, but obviously behind the scenes, in the training grounds, in the dressing room, he's a massive figure. The players love him. Arteta loves him. And I'm not too worried about our captain. I think our team needs leaders in general. And this team, it looks like they have personalities. Jesus, if you listen to him speak in interviews, sounds like he knows what he's saying. He has some substance. He doesn't just waffle. Sometimes footballers just go, yeah, good game, blah, blah, blah. He says that I want to do this and how I'm going to do it. Zinchenko, watching him play against Sevilla, again, very vocal. There was one moment, I think, where he crossed the ball towards Ødegaard, he missed the chance and he blazed over the bar. And he was having a go at him. He was like, and he was not just having a go like, oh, you've missed the chance. He was saying, keep your foot over the ball. And he's kind of giving him advice. So we've got a team full of coaches now. Jacques is another one. So, Ødegaard, I think, is a good shout. But if the team's performing, I don't think fans will really care who's the captain as long as we win games.
Yeah, that is very true. Shout out to all the people in the comment section. We got a lot of people giving us hellos. We got Ben in the house saying Jesus Golden Boot. We got Games FC saying shout out to Bhavs. We got a lot of people shouting out Bhavs in the house. Big up to all the people shouting us out. Really do appreciate the love and support, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you've gotten this far, of course. And there will be timestamps for the people who are watching on playback, of course. So if you want to just skip forward to your favorite parts, you can do that also. We're going to save your questions near the end, but let's just get through some of these points. As you already touched on, new signings, Gabriel Jesus, and some of these new signings, we gotta talk about him. So first, Gabriel Jesus slotting in so easily, so seamlessly. Do you think it's because Arteta kind of understands what he wants from players now, and when it comes to signings, like a Gabriel Jesus, he just slots in right away?
Yeah. Mikel Arteta has a very specific profile. We saw it last season with Tomiyasu, Ramsdale, Ben White. Ben White and Ramsdale are two players that came from completely different systems, especially Ramsdale, and they fit in straight away. It's because Arteta knows what he wants, and that's why when he signs players, most often they've been hits. They've improved our team. And so, I look at the signings that we made this summer, and Jesus is a player, he knows exactly what Arsenal need. Not only because of the system that he plays, but also I think he got a bit of a confidence boost. Coming to Arsenal, seeing the love the fans are giving him, I think it's given him a bit of a, not just a confidence, but ego boost, and it's a good thing sometimes. You have to have a bit of an ego if you want to be a top player. Ronaldo's, your Messi's, Henri's, they had egos. So I think Jesus has come in and he not only understands the system, but I think his experience is very important. He understands that because he's the oldest, or one of the oldest players, he has to guide Saka and Martinelli, and that connection, by the way, of that front three. Watching it against Sevilla, it's telepathic. All the goals, they showed different aspects. The Jesus' first goal, he starts off wide.
Martinelli's assist for the first goal.
There you go, man. It's a fluid front three. It's a front three where, if I'm an opposition team, not only am I worried about their pace, which is obviously one of the hardest things to defend against, but dribbling, understanding, pressing. Pressing was amazing. The goal that Saka scores, that's not a coincidence, man. You've got Nelly pressing the centre-back who forces the pass back. And if you watch Jesus properly in that goal, he's cut off the passing lane to the centre-back. So the guy has no choice but to go back to the keeper, who again has no choice either to kick the ball long, to give the ball back to Arsenal, or to play a risky pass, which Saka intercepted and Arsenal scored. The pressing has been elevated, and Jesus is a massive part of that, and he will continue to do so, and hopefully score goals.
My first reaction when I seen that Saka goal where he just basically got the ball passed to him, I thought the goalkeeper just made a blatant error. But when you're right, looking back at it, it was Jesus. And Pep told us about their press. These three guys are going to be pressing monsters this season, and teams are going to have a lot of pressure on them, from them all the way down to the midfield. Because when Sambi Lokonga even came on during the preseason, you'd see him in the box pressing the goalkeeper at times. It's going to be, this team is going to be very interesting. But now let's get into the Zinchenko signing. Bro, Zinchenko came in, another person who just slotted straight in, like against Chelsea. And when I seen him yesterday, he's relentless. He doesn't stop. He just keeps going. He loses the ball instantly. Like, you seen that Pep video the other day that came out where he's making a joke about Conte will run after you if you don't get the ball. He'll chase you. That's literally that mentality, just going straight into our locker room with Zinchenko and Jesus. But yeah, you go on Zinchenko. What a bargain also. With Lisandro Martinez going for 60. Yeah. You got the other guy today that's going around for 50 million, Cucurella. Zinchenko's a bargain for 30 million.
Trust me, we wanted a very specific left back, and that inverted left back is hard to find as it is. To then sign one who's not only proven, but to a standard where he's won league titles, to come in for £30 million with the experience, the fact that he's in his peak of his powers, so he's getting really into that physical peak where he understands the league environment and also himself as a person playing football. I really do think now that signing could be very underrated. And look, I like Lisandro Martinez. I'm not going to deny that I thought he would have been a good signing. And I think he's a better defender than Zinchenko. But we're not signing Zinchenko to defend. We're signing him to attack. That's how the best teams play, how they win their league titles. They just score 100 goals. And Zinchenko not only is very impressive on the ball, but pressing-wise off the ball. Very intense. If you watch Ben White and Zinchenko against Sevilla, both of them are pressing very high, and they're meant to be midfielders. And I think alongside Xhaka and Partey in midfield, they're really going to dominate more games. And one thing I would like to see Arsenal do more next season is keep the ball more. So I think sometimes we're a bit risky. Maybe it's either Partey or the other players, they force it too much. And even against Sevilla, 8 big chances, 6 goals, but we had like 51% of the ball, which, if you want to be a top team, you have to have more than that. We were very incisive with the ball, but I think with Zinchenko, he's a player who will calm you down. And when you have Tomiyasu on the other hand side, the fact that you've got Kieran Tierney, who is, in my opinion, one of the best left-backs in the league, when fully fit and available and in form, and he's not a guaranteed starter anymore, that's squad depth. That's what fans have been calling out for years and years. And it's the same on the right-hand side now with Tomiyasu, and if you count Ben White as that inverted right-back, but £30 million with Cucurella going for 50, who's only had one good season. He might be a great player, by the way, but one good season. It's a crazy amount of... It's a bargain.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, shout out to the people in the comment section. We have over 100 people in the comment section. Some people saying Zinchenko's amazing. Mohammed here, bigging up Bhavs. Always big up Bhavs, bro. My guy right here. Most unique content creator when it comes to football content game. I'm not gonna lie to you. You do it. No one does it like you, bro. But enough praise because you're a humble guy. What?
I'm trying to keep humble. It's hard, all these comments, man. But listen, thank you very much. I really appreciate the support. I see it all the time, and considering where I came from, like 2 years ago when I left my last job and I said I was going to do YouTube, I got so much abuse.
Bro, I did a video. Your 100K live stream that you did I was live at the same time. I literally stopped my live stream and said, "Everyone, go watch his 100K live stream." Because
amazing.
Because I was like, yo, this guy literally got 100K. Big up to you, bro. I saw your growth, Bhavs. People see this, bro. People see the difference. Bhavs is gargantuan. Where did that come from?
That's not quite. It's not quite how you spell it, but I appreciate it. I don't know. It was on Twitter. I just certain phrases that stick, and I just liked it, and I skipped saying it. And yeah, we're gargantuan. Arsenal gargantuan.
Okay, let's move on to Saliba quickly because he's kind of like a new signing, basically.
He is a new signing.
He's basically a new signing with the fact that, and also there's also this issue here where I seen he doesn't have a shirt number no more. This is a hint that he's going to be getting that number 2 and he's going to be signing that new deal. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you are. I think Freddie Paxson said it a week ago that it's been agreed and he doesn't know when it's announced. I don't see why he doesn't sign because he's starting and playing games for Arsenal is a massive upgrade than Marseille, with all due respect. I know they're in the Champions League, but Liga, Premier League's different standards. And I think Marseille actually got second place in that league with like, there was like a 2-point difference between what Arsenal got in our league, which got us 5th, and what they got in their league, got second. So I'm not saying they're a bad team. Fair enough to them. Saliba did well for them. But Arsenal are a big club. We are gargantuan. And I think he understands that this is the club he wants to play for now. I do worry in the future because of how good he is. You know, he's so young. And if Arsenal can't compete for the biggest trophies, I'm sure the likes of Real Madrid and so will come calling. But fingers crossed it never gets to that stage. And if Arsenal are winning big honours or competing, at least for the now, then he signs that contract, which I think is signed and should be signed and hopefully announced. And given the number 2 shirt, man, because then I'm sure we'll get even more Saliba 2 shirts next season at the Emirates. Or this season, sorry.
100%. Just before we do that, is it ridiculous to say he has the potential to be
No.
one of the best? Because like I said that.
No.
You know what it is? If a journalist says it or somebody who is not related to Arsenal says it, it's an okay opinion. But the moment an Arsenal fan picks up their own player and puts him in the conversation of next Van Dijk or the Mbappe of centre back, even though it's not our quotes, it's somebody else's quotes, we're just reiterating it. What happens is you get put in that category where you're like, oh, you can't pick up your players that much. That's ridiculous. But I don't think it's ridiculous.
No, talk, man. You're meant to back your players. You're meant to act like your players are the best in the world. And if you're not supporting your own players and praising them and hyping them up, then who is? That's what football's about. You pick your team, you hype up your players. Sometimes you overhype them, but that's the fun of football because sometimes these players turn out to be legit and then you have rival fans respect it. And I think Saliba will be one of those players that by the end of this season, I think the entire league will just see how good he is. And then they'll go, okay, you know what? Yeah, he's a top player. But for now, I can see why people are doubting because they've not seen him play. They don't watch Liga. Not many Arsenal fans do either. But if he remains fit and he will start games, I guarantee that. I think he's solidified that centre-back role for now. Then yeah, man, there's going to be a lot of trouble and it's very scary, but not for us.
There you go. I am saving your questions, guys. Let's go straight into the outgoings. I don't know if you spoke about this yet, but I'm just happy we're actually selling some of our players for money. Lucas Torreira for 7 million euros to Galatasaray. Talk to me, bro. What do you think about this?
It's a move that obviously that when Torreira signed and his first season, I was very gassed. I liked him a lot. I still like him as a player, but he's made it very clear. He made it very clear in his first year in England. He didn't like the country or wasn't ever adapted. He never quite knew how to obviously speak English and stuff. And fair enough to him. I think Italy suits him more. I think he wants to move to Spain, but then to go to Turkey, it's big. It is big, but I think for me as an Arsenal fan, all I really care about is how much money Arsenal can get. And if 7 mil is the max, it's a bit disappointing. But look, Arsenal would have tried. They would have tried to sold him to other clubs. I mean, they had that buy option with Fiorentina, never activated it. So clearly, there's something about Torreira that other teams don't want to pay a certain amount of money. And I think this is the last summer where we'll see Arsenal sell players for a lower price. Because as your team gets better, the value the players do as well. You look at Liverpool now, the players they sell, even if they're not starters, because of how good they are, they go for a higher amount of money. So I think that will be the same with Arsenal next season, hopefully, if we get into the Champions League, etc. But best of luck to Galatasaray. It's a good little player, but yeah, is what it is.
There you go. And you know what? That's not it. There's more outgoings. I'm very happy to see that we are selling some of our players. And you know what? Leno is going to be making a move to another Premier League side, so he can help us potentially get top 4 by Fulham beating some of our opponents this upcoming season. It's going to be around. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't beat us. But 8 million, it's going to be 8 million plus potential add-ons. Personal terms are in place. The 30-year-old goalkeeper will undergo his medical before the end of the week to complete the move, as reported by David Onstein. I think personally this is a good move for the guy, and I think, you know what, if he was going to move within the Premier League, this is a good thing for him. He gets to stay in London. He doesn't have to go too far. And overall, it's a win-win because he is the 13th highest paid goalkeeper in world football, and he's sitting on our bench. Ramsdale doesn't get paid more than him, so it makes sense to move him on.
Yeah, I think fans obviously, I've complained about the price, but we're not in negotiations, so we don't know what Arsenal are dealing with here. I think Arsenal were prepared to let it wait until the end of the window because the closer you get to the end, the more the price can go up, right? Because they have to force the signing. But I think what's happened here is the player's gone, right, I need to move as soon as possible. For myself to adapt, to go to this different club, and to obviously with the start of the season there as well, it's the best time for him to go. And I think Arsenal have respected that and gone, right, because of your services to the club and how good of a player you have been for us over the years, that we'll respect you or we'll give away a couple £1 million. But there are add-ons. So maybe if Fulham stay in the league, I think that's one of the add-ons maybe that Arsenal could get up to 11, 12. But look, it's not our money. As fans, it's we're not accountants, and best of luck to him at Fulham. I think he has been a good goalkeeper for Arsenal. Just not quite the right profile. I'd say not quality. I think he's a good goalkeeper. I just don't think he's the right profile for Arsenal playing at the back. But I think Fulham is a good move. Stays in London and goes to the biggest club in West London.
Okay. There's also some conversations about Hector Bellerin potentially terminating his contract and could be moving to Real Betis. Thoughts on Hector Bellerin's move? Because I think him terminating his contract actually saves the money because we don't have to then pay him. So it is another win-win scenario in that situation. What do you think?
Yeah, again, this is disappointing because you can get money for him. We tried, I guess, and no one's wanted him. I mean, I remember back in the day where £40 million to Barcelona was the constant rumour. If Barca want to pay 40 now, we'll take it. But yeah, I think Betis is it'll be a good move for him again. He likes it. He was good there last season, won a trophy, hold up Harry Kane. And more importantly, I think Arsenal understand that respect again. You know, let him go, let him do his thing. He's not meant to be at Arsenal Football Club. And I think I actually saw him in the stadium on Saturday, like kind of waving goodbye to the fans at halftime. Yeah. So it's kind of coming to an end. And look, I like him. I've liked him as a player as Arsenal. Obviously, his injury kind of ruined it. Respect to him, but bro, that number 2 shirt is, you need to give it to the next generation now. So yeah, we'll see. If
you actually go back and check it out again, he did once the trophy was lifted, the small little trophy lift, he went and did I don't know if he nodded to every single end, and then when he was walking around, he was like one of the first people at the front of the line applauding the fans. Yeah. It did seem like it was a lot more personal to him, but maybe it's just us reading into things like I always do. If you remember the infamous January transfer, Isaac, we were going crazy.
The Vlahovic goodbye, remember that?
Oh man, did you see the Gakpo one? Gakpo's crying. He's coming to Arsenal.
I've not seen it. I've not seen that. I think he did. Yeah, listen, Arsenal fans, we're detectives, we're cloud spotters, plane trackers. We're the best.
I think it's actually. We got to give it to Reddit. Reddit are the crazy ones. They're the ones that do everything. Shout out to Reddit. They do all the madness. Moving on to Balogun. Balogun's going on loan. I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move for him. And I think he even tweeted it out. Well, let me check if my tweet is there. I tweeted it out. I said, Balogun, it makes sense. He's going to get game time. Hopefully he comes back a better player. That's pretty much all I have to say about Balogun going on loan. I don't think there's any negatives on him going on loan in a season where we're going to have 2 strikers. We're going to be focusing on trying to win both the Europa League, and we're going to focus on at least winning as many games as we can in the Premier League to get as high as we can possibly get in the table. I don't know if we're going to win the league, obviously. Most likely we won't. But yeah, that's not where I was going with it, guys. But yeah, no. Basically, what do you think about Balogun?
I like him. I do like him. And to be fair, seeing how much Nketiah has improved under Arteta, at what the age Balogun is now, he looks better at what age Nketiah was in terms of just quality, hold-up play. I think he could be a very good false 9 profile. I would prefer him to stay in England, maybe go to the Championship again, or maybe a lower league Premier League club. I've seen some reports that he rejected those chances. But if he is a starter in the Liga, I'm not against it. As long as he's starting, I think the best way for young players to grow is always experience. We've seen it with Saliba. His first ever full season was last year, 50, 60 games. He's come back to Arsenal, far more complete player. If Tavares as well can go there, and likewise Balogun, get some minutes, start games, score goals. You've seen with Chelsea, you got Armando Broja who goes to Southampton and, comes back a better player. Chelsea have a different way of dealing these players. But with Balogun, whether it's as an asset or as a first teamer, it's going to be a very good move, and as long as he gets experience, he can't get any worse.
Okay. Just before we move on to transfers and transfer targets, how many more players do you think Arsenal will get? Because I'm going to put a question in the chat. I think Arsenal should at least get 2 more. There's the potential of going for a 3rd, and if we get a 4th, we're challenging for the league, in my opinion. I'm not saying we're going to win it. 4 players, I think, will put us in a contention to challenge. Think about it, Bhavs. If we get a quality winger, a quality 2 midfielders, and a right back, that is, in my opinion, a good enough team now to compete with every team in this league. I'm not saying we're going to win it. I'm just saying we would need 4 more quality signings to actually compete, where 2 signings would help us solidify what we need to do for next season.
Yeah, no, listen, I do believe that fans can never get enough transfers, no matter how good you are and how much you improve. Like, I think fans have to realise that this obsession with transfers is going to come to a halt. When Arsenal are good again, we're only going to sign 1 player a season. So now it's all 4 or 5 players we're used to now. You look at Liverpool nowadays, they've got no transfer rumours because when they are a good team, they don't need to add too much to it. I think we'll get probably 2, maybe 1. I think 2, it would be a good shout. 3 is too far for me. The 3 would be a winger, a left centre-back and a midfielder. Maybe a number 6, you could add that as well. But I think a wide forward will be kept as an opportunity. If someone becomes available, if some agency brings a player forwards, Arsenal will make a move there. If not, I think that will be kept for January because that's a backup role. That's a clear... We're not going to sign a starter over Saka, right? That's going to be harder to find. And even with the number 6, to find a player as, I guess, a similar profile to Partey in terms of the player, it's going to be very hard. Because he's a very unique player when it comes to that. He's good defensively, very incisive. So I think left centre-back's important because holding maybe in a back 5 is good, but in a back 4, North London derby, especially if Ben White is playing as a right back and he's occupied there, it could be a bit of a trouble there. And I think that Yuri Tielemans' transfer is going to stay there until deadline day. And I do want to see it happen. I think he's a very good player. And watching Xhaka play against Sevilla, he can get forwards. But you just think about if you had a more agile player there, which isn't even Tielemans, if you even put Fabio Vieira there, that attack becomes even better. And that midfield is able to overload better. So I think we'll get 2 players, and I think the 2 players will be probably a centre-back, left-sided centre-back and a midfielder.
You know what? We're going to have to touch on some of these names that you mentioned. First of all, going into this guy has been linked to us a lot, PSV winger, Cody Gakpo. I don't know if I am 100% sold on Gakpo, but what is your opinion? Because my issue with Gakpo is I look at his heat map, he plays predominantly on the left side. Majority of the guys that we have been linked to, like the Rafinhas, Bowens, predominantly play on the right side, and we shift Saka out to the left, where he would be most likely being outletted as a striker or as a left winger, where I feel like we have adequate cover on the left wing, but at the same time, he does improve our left wing. But where do now Martinelli and ESR play? And also, would that be investing in the wrong area or of the pitch, or do you think just bring in as many goals as we can into the team and Cody Gakpo works? Because for me, I'm just questioning, is he the right fit as another inside forward, not really a winger? He offers us goals, but I'm not sure. I still question the signing. But hey, if it happens, I'm going to get behind him. But at this moment in time, I just question, is Gakpo that guy? What do you think?
He's going to be expensive because he is PSV's best player by a country mile. When the closer you get to the season, the harder it will be for them to replace him. So they're going to put a hefty price tag on him. He's a good player, but as you say, left winger. We've got Martinelli there, and obviously I met him today, but that's one thing. I think just as the player, he's really getting better, and he's one of our most impactful players, and that link-up he has with Ødegaard is special. And now the front three of him, Jesus and Saka, I don't want to disturb that. And I want a wide forward, I do. But I think Gakpo isn't quite the opportunity we're looking for. I think there has to be someone a bit more obvious. And also the Eredivisie is... Moussa Diab, I think he's confirmed he's staying at Leverkusen. And he is more similar... Yeah, sorry?
Trossard?
Trossard, maybe as
I
a
like
backup.
him.
Do you know, I'm not trying to sign players now as backups. As great as Saka is, right? I want a player that can go, I'm going to go toe-to-toe with you. Because that's either going to produce a better player in Saka, which I expect anyways, or someone else who can overdo Saka, I love the player, but I always think you can get better in terms of depth. And that competitive edge is what Arsenal need. If you want to become a top team, Man City had Mahrez and Grealish and Sterling and all these players in one team. And that's why they are so good. So Arsenal have to have that same level. I think over the years, just out of PTSD, our fans have forgotten that you need to have at least 2 top players in every single position to be a top team. And now we actually think, there's going to be fights. There's going to be, who's going to start. But that's a good thing. It's a good thing to have that. If you're having that, you're a good team. And we've got that in most positions. I think left wing with ESR there as well, who can play there. And Martinelli, I need that right winger. And it isn't Cody Gakpo, who I still think is a good player. Neto is... Neto's expensive, but even he's more
Leroy
left-sided.
Sané?
Leroy Sané is left again, but yeah, that's a I'd say that's a dream transfer, but I don't want to be those fans that just hype a transfer because he's a big name. He hasn't been good at Bayern Munich, as good as he has been at Man City, and that ACL injury has slightly changed him as a player. Obviously, Arteta could produce him again, and look, Sané, Saka, and Jesus is amazing as well. But maybe Edu Gaspar is cooking up something secret behind the scenes.
Finally, Jarrod Bowen. Is a big no-no for me. What about you?
I was going to speak about him in my video today. He seems to be one of the more credible rumours right now. I think Ben Jacobs said that he's been contacted. He is a right winger, so he suits that profile. He's got experience. He would be expensive, especially at this stage of the market, unless, of course, West Ham have planned to sign someone else.
Technical ability, though?
Pardon?
What about the technical ability side?
I think he's a good player. I think sometimes underrate him and sometimes overrate him. I think he's a good little player. I don't think he has the talent or quality to be better than Saka, which is my concern. I think I want a player who has the ability to go toe-to-toe. And Bowen is maybe off the bench as a playoff transition, he can do well. But I don't think, you look at Man City's side, they've got Mahrez. I want someone that's a bit more like Saka, profile-wise. Bowen's more of a goal scorer, Saka's more creative. Rafinha would have been amazing. He would have been amazing, but he's gone to Barca. And I seriously, I don't know what wide forward Arsenal can sign in terms of like the obvious answer. There's no one like that he can sign and he's the answer, like you had Jesus up front kind of. So Bowen, if you gave it to me, like you could take him, I would take him. He's a good player. He improves our squad. But if you said £60 million, even though it's not my money, I'm not quite sure. So I agree with your concerns.
Nippin, I don't. It's not about the fact that he's an upgrade. He might be an upgrade.
Maybe for Chelsea.
He might be an upgrade on what you have, but for Arsenal, Bukayo Saka is currently better than him. And if we move Bukayo Saka to the left, is Jarrod Bowen going to produce to the level of what Bukayo Saka does on the right? Yeah. That is the question I'm asking myself. And I've looked at his underlying numbers. Guess what, Bhavs? If you actually look at his underlying numbers, it shows that his expected assists are a lot lower than what he actually got, and his expected goals are a lot lower. So can he keep up that efficiency level? Yeah. I don't know. We have to look at those underlying numbers, guys. It's not just about GA. It's sometimes there's things that are hidden behind the GA that we don't look at. But yeah, just ending off the transfer part. Finally, Paqueta, Tielemans. If you had to guess which one Arsenal would actually get, I think it's Tielemans. But what do you think?
Yeah, Tielemans. With Tielemans, what it is because he wants to move so badly. It's so obvious. He's on his knees for Arsenal. I want Arsenal and Arsenal only. And that's a key part, by the way. I think in one of Arteta's first ever interviews, he said that a player, he has to want to come to Arsenal because of how big we are, how good we are. And if he has to convince him to come to Arsenal, he's not the player for the club. So Tielemans is a player who Arsenal have, as reported, been tracking for a long, long time. I remember back in the day, watching the old transfer dailies. Back in 2014 when he was in Anderlecht, he was still linked to Arsenal. He is a different profile to Paqueta, and you could argue Paqueta maybe, I think because Paqueta is left-footed, I'm not quite sure on that. He may be a better profile going forwards, attacking-wise, scoring goals. And because Ødegaard, I think, can play on the left-hand side. And I think this season, with the arrival of Fabio Vieira, I won't be surprised if Ødegaard gets moved over to the left-hand side and becomes more of the dictator than he is the goal scorer. And Paqueta is a very similar profile to Vieira, who maybe is a bit more creative. I think Tielemans gives us good depth and experience, because as you can see with Jesus and Zinchenko, because they know the league and they know what the Arteta wants, it's very important to have that straight away. So I think Tielemans is a better fit. He's half the price tag and certainly not half the player. And maybe deadline day, Tielemans party. Let's go.
Okay, quick fire, Bhavs. Just got a couple quick questions. I think they're pretty quick. But before we do that, people, let's get over 100 likes. We have 137 of you guys. We only need 20 more likes. Hit that like right now. It's absolutely free. Harvey Barnes, what's your thoughts on Harvey Barnes? Would you take him, yes or no?
Oh, he's a player. He's a player. But again, he's more left-sided. Top player. I'd love him at Arsenal. Great player. Would be very expensive because he's one of Leicester's. He's Leicester's like star boy, if you put it that way. But he would improve us. Him, Pedro Neto, I'm taking both of them any day of the week. And look, maybe they can force a move to Arsenal because we are gargantuan.
Pepe, what are we doing with Pepe?
We are selling him. I like Pepe, and I don't want to say he's a bad player because I don't think he is. I think what he is Good player, but wrong team. Wrong profile with Arsenal. He's not a touchline winger. He can't hold the width. He needs to play central. And a team that plays, maybe more like number 10s. Like you look at Chelsea, for example, when they have Mount and either Ziyech or whoever as a 2 10s. That's better for what Pepe is, because he needs to be closer to goal. He's a very good shooter, very dangerous in transition. But for Arsenal to be that possession-based team, Arteta's tried it. He's been there for 2 years. He's tried it. It didn't quite work out. And I think maybe a move to the Serie A, he'd feast.
Okay. Same question, but different player. Nelson, is he going to get an opportunity this season?
Yeah, I think so. I think Nelson's kind of got he sorted out his fitness, which is important, because I remember back in 1920 or was it 2021, he was getting games in the Europa League and maybe actually got a few opportunities in the league, but he never quite could remain fit. And then Smith Rowe came in and we had that Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli for a while. I think he will get some opportunities in the Europa League, especially. I like his attitude though. I think he's improving that. I think going to Feyenoord, he's come back as a more complete player, started quite a few games there and really picked up form towards the end. And I think as a touchline winger, it does suit him in a sense. Maybe not on the right-hand side, but on the left-hand side as depth. I see why not, and I think this is his last chance at Arsenal to prove it. I'm not sure how long he's got left on his contract either. And look, he was the most hyped up player. Let's not forget, when he came through the academy,
he was supposed to be Saka before Saka.
He was meant to be Saka. When he came through with Wenger and playing as that right wing back, pretty good. So he can play on the right hand side clearly. Maybe he's a surprise player this season for Arsenal fans.
Ooh, I thought Lokonga was going to be that guy, the surprise player, because it seemed like a lot of Arsenal fans gave Lokonga a lot of stick last season, and I think it wasn't deserved because of the fact that he never really played with the senior experience that you need to guide you throughout the games. Xhaka was sometimes deployed as a left back in a game where he's the only midfielder that's supposed to be the only DM, and it's like, come on, you're throwing the guy to the wolves. But Milinkovic-Savic, I don't think it's going to happen. Bhavs, I think you've already touched on this a lot. You've said you're not sure if it's going to happen. So that is our opinion on that one. I think big up everyone in the comment section. Really do love and support the support you guys are giving. Now we're going to move on quickly to expectations. Bhavs, I have high expectations for this season. For me, it's get far in the domestic cup competitions, win either the Europa League or get top 4. But preferably, if you could do both, I'd love it. If you can get me the trophy, which is the Europa League, I would take it. But I want that top 4 also to show that we have progressed in the league. But what is your opinion on expectations going into the next season? And this is your expectations, not the whole fan base.
Yeah, league title would be nice. No, I think the copy and paste that everyone's been given, and it's the same thing for most Arsenal fans. You speak to fans outside the ground, it's top 4 Europa League. Top 4 Europa League, maybe some people saying the FA Cup. I think that's what I want, and I think it's gettable. But weirdly, the Europa League's a bit harder because you can't predict that. Anything's possible. This season, you had Barcelona there, and for a period, they were the favourites. And then, out of nowhere, Frankfurt won it. So it's not easy. Cup competitions are never easy to predict. But to be fair, in Arteta's 2 full seasons, or I think 1 full season, we got to the semi-final. So, if or was it maybe 2 seasons? I'm not quite sure. But if we can get there again, second season against Villarreal, we can get that far. But top 4 I think is better, because 38 game season, if you can prove yourself there against every single team that you are a team that are in the top 4 teams in the league, it's more solidified. You're really there then. And I think 3rd is really what we should be looking at. And 2nd is really dependent on how Liverpool really settled Nunes. I think if he does well, they'll get 2nd or maybe 1st. But if he struggles and they can't really adapt to him as a striker, then maybe Arsenal have a chance. Our front 3 is very dangerous now. It's very scary, and compared to last season when you had Aubameyang there as well, it's different. It's more profile-wise suited to what Arteta wants, and this is the first season Arteta's going into where he's got a full 11 of players that he kind of assigned and really formed together. So when that team plays, again, by the way, in pre-season so far at least, looks amazing. It really looks the real deal, and I think watching them play, they look like a team that have been playing for years together. And I understand it's pre-season, but they look really, really like the real deal. But Palace is the game, man. That is, if you can, do that 3rd place, which is my expectation, by the way, 3rd place, Europa League win, or the FA Cup. I want to win a trophy. I don't want to be Spurs. I don't care. Top 4 is not a trophy for me. I need a trophy. I need silverware as much as possible, because those are the days, man. I've been to 1 FA Cup final outside the ground that I was too young to go inside. But that's about it. I want to go in now. I want to see my club, Wembley, May, sunny May. Arsenal fans are gassed. A trophy is always what I want in my season. So if I can get Europa League, top 4 that way would be nice. But top 4, third, and one of the Europa League or FA Cup.
I've never been to the Champions League night at the Emirates.
I have.
So I need to see Arsenal in the Champions League by any means necessary next season. That's all I gotta say.
You can. You ask the women.
Of course, yeah. They're gonna be playing the games there. That's honestly really good. And big up to Arsenal Lionesses for doing what they did, helping England win the women's Euros. They did really good there. I was gonna ask about Arteta, but is there even a point? Is there a point of having an Arteta conversation? Because I feel like there's no point anymore. Everyone just knows Arteta's the guy. He's staying. He's not going nowhere. And if the season ends bad, he's gone. If the season ends well, he's staying. I don't think it's any more cut and dry than that. It's basically, this is like your last goal to have a bad season. You can't have a bad season anymore. You've had enough.
I don't think he will. I don't see it. I know, fans are trying to clip me up, and I've seen it. Arsenal fans have been getting a lot of stick online from rival fans that are saying, "Oh, they're doing it again. They're hyping up." But we've got a good team this year, right? We've got a good team. You're gonna hype that team up because it's a good team, and it's like last season.
Yes, Arsenal should win the league if we have such a good team. People are saying they're crazy. They just raise expectations every time.
I think though what I've seen this year is a lot of the rival fans have also kind of noticed as well. I've seen a lot of my friends that are rival fans going, "Oh, actually, you look decent." But they all anticipating a 1-0 defeat against Crystal Palace. And look, you could lose that game. It's possible. It's football. But
and we could still do well.
That's the perfect time to shut up the entire world. It's like the second coming. The first part against Brentford last season couldn't quite do it. Revenge tour. This is the revenge tour. We got to show this world that we are a real team. Go to Palace away, opening day, all eyes of the world are on you. Because you're the first game, by the way. Everyone's watching that game on a Friday night. With popcorn in hand. Make sure rival fans are crying and Arsenal fans are celebrating. Win that game comfortably.
You have a way with words, Bhavs. This is the revenge tour. Let's do this! I love it.
It's a revenge tour. I'm excited for the season. Not because I'm thinking Arsenal are going to win the league, but more because I want to really show... I really believe in this team. This team that I see now, this 11, really think when they're playing together, this is a proper team. It's been really perfectly architected. And I really think now that Palace game, get the win there with everyone watching as well. Because last season against Newcastle, Monday Night Football against Palace, the Brentford game, that's when fans watching Arsenal, we were losing. We were bottling the pressure. Now with Jesus, Zinchenko, the experience, the first team getting better, this is the time, man. You got to show it.
Bro, that I don't think I even needed to segue to the season preview. You just did that yourself right there. Crystal Palace. What is your lineup?
It's the same against Chelsea. Sevilla. That team starting. That's guaranteed. Unless it's injuries or anything, that team's starting. There's no reason why Arteta gave them 70 minutes together against Sevilla if that wasn't the team. And that team has more than enough quality to go to Palace and win. And look, last season we lost it, right? And we lost 3-0, so on paper it's a battering. But really and truly, you look at the first goal, Tavares on the far post from a free kick should win the header, And Arsenal normally have been good with set pieces. So that's a mistake in my opinion, just being a bit lapse. The second goal again, Gabriel's out of position, but Xhaka starts you off. He presses like an idiot for no reason, goes flying out, opens up a massive gap, and the Palace play through that. It was mistakes.
This is the lineup you're going with for the first game?
I don't know if it's a back three. It looks like a back three on paper, but it's not. But that's the lineup. I think that's the team. Everything about that team I like a lot. It's got creativity. And look, I don't think fans realise this, but this pre-season, goals galore. 20 goals in 5 games that we have seen. In every game we're playing, we see our team creating chances. I think it was 8 big chances against Sevilla. 8. I don't remember that for Arsene Wenger days. And I've seen Arsenal play in Emirates Cups before against Wolfsburg and so on.
4 versus Chelsea. That's 10 in the last 2. Yeah. And you had 3 there. You had that's another 5. Then you had that's 20. We had 20 and then another 5 there. So that's 30 goals in our season games. Bro, I didn't realize we scored 30 goals. How many games is that? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think the Everton games were 4. That's from last season.
Oh, that's from last season. Yeah.
It's 20 goals.
25. It's 25 goals in 5 games. That's ridiculous. Averaging 5 goals a game almost.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When you really think about it. I didn't realize we were that crazy.
No, it's 20 goals, bro. That's not 25.
My apologies. My math's off. 20 goals. That's what, 3 goals per game, basically, almost.
Yeah, yeah. And we were making chances. You're not just scoring long shots. We're making a lot of chances. And that attack is look. Ødegaard could have got a lot more assists last season, but there was no movement. You know, Arsenal always got the ball into the final third. I've always said this. Arteta's system has allowed us to get the ball there. We get to the ball in the final third, and when it comes to crossing the ball in, the cross can be as amazing as it can be. But if there's no movement, there's no point of it. I think the prime example was Liverpool at the Emirates last season. There was one occasion where Martinelli dribbles past Trent. He gets to the byline. He's done so well. I think he beat 3 players in the process. He looks up, and Lacazette's on the edge of the box. That's it. The edge of the box, Ødegaard stood still. That's a big chance there. If you convert that, if the player makes a move, that's a big chance there. Or at least opens up space for someone else to come in. I think now what we're seeing is our team's better choreographed in the final third. They know when to make the movements, and yeah, the attack looks nice.
Let me show you something that's gonna actually make you like so excited. This was Lacazette last season.
Yeah.
When linking up with our players, this was Jesus in his first preseason game.
Wow, that's crazy. That's for a guy that likes his stats. That's amazing. That is amazing. You can see Lacazette last year. He tried. That's fair enough, then. I'm not going to say he didn't try.
You've not seen this?
No, I hadn't seen this, but that's the first time I've seen that.
It's crazy, man. I tweeted this out like a couple days ago. I seen it from a guy who plays Football Manager. He was showing us the difference between Lacazette and Gabriel Jesus, and he just somehow got this for the first game in the preseason that we played against Nuremberg.
And that's before Zinchenko as well.
That was before Zinchenko, yeah. As you can see here, we didn't have Zinchenko in this team. Tomiyasu, what? No, that can't be right.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think but anyways, this is what he was showing me, and this is just crazy. The man's linking up with everybody. You're seeing Bukayo Saka as our the most forward player out of the 3, similar to what he was last season. And Lacazette was just, honestly, how is he on an island by himself? It just goes to show you the issue we had last season. We were playing with 10 men.
Yeah, I think he didn't make himself available, which is a key part. You know, you have to show for the ball. One thing Jesus has is personality on the ball. He wants the ball. He wants the pressure. And I think that's what's going to help us against Palace away. Last season, we tried to press Palace, but we didn't have the physical capacity. But if you notice the second half, when we brought in Nketiah, who can actually run, we look different. We made a lot more chances, and we look like a different team. So now we've got a proper striker who can press and is mobile and will cause issues. He'll get Arsenal up the pitch. That's important, because in away games last season, we go on our shells because Lacazette wasn't able to really get us up the pitch. Now, you know, what you have with Ramsdale as well, who seems to have got his confidence back, kicking-wise. We can play long balls in behind, and Jesus can hold the ball up. He might be 5'9", but he is a strong guy. Physical guy. He knows. He's clever. He's a clever person.
Do you have any concerns over Matt Turner?
I can see why some fans have not liked him as much in pre-season, but I'm also wary to say it's been just games in pre-season. So I'm not going to judge him just he's the worst yet. Give him a season at least, and we'll see how he is. I can see some doubts though, but he's a backup goalkeeper, and I think he'll start the Europa League games that are more, you know, I guess, group stages, round of 32, and then you'll see Ramsdale come in and take that position again.
You know what? I want Arsenal to go into that Crystal Palace game, do what you said, get the revenge tour. Then the first game, home game versus Leicester, show up, make the crowd and the fans happy, win our first 2 games, and then when we go away to Bournemouth, I feel like that's going to be the first difficult test. Hopefully we can beat Bournemouth. Go up against Fulham at home, should be a W. Aston Villa at home should be a W. And I think going into that Manchester United game, if we can go into that Manchester United game 5 for 5, there's nothing everyone's going to be shaking in their boots. But at this moment in time, I wouldn't ask you to make any predictions on that. I don't want to put you out there too much. But I think realistically, if we can do what we do early and start the season off well, the rest of the season could be a cakewalk for us.
We've not really had a good start to the season for a long time. You know, it's always been kind of maybe 1 win, 2 wins, and you versus a big team. 2015. Yeah, and that was the last time we kind of competed for a title, right? So if we can really start off well this time round, it's possible, man. It's possible to really get fans really excited. And look, here's what I'll say, right? Last season, I was starting 11. That's the key part. When our starting 11 was fit and available, and it was a period where they kind of were from like December to like March, that team would have got third comfortably. That team would have got third because Chelsea were inconsistent and they were only like 5 points off anyways. Now you've got some injuries to Partey and Tierney and whoever, and I understand injuries are part of the game, but I thought that first team was good enough to get third last season. So now, with Zinchenko in the team, with Jesus in the team, maybe Fabio Vieira, maybe Tielemans, that team's only got better. And then you've got the experience of Saka and Martinelli just getting better anyways, and same with the other players like Ben White and Ramsdale and Gabriel. Saliba's in the team now. That third place, first 11 last season, in my opinion, has just got better. So I think second's maybe a bit of a stretch, but we'll find out after this first 5 games. Because last season, right, in the big games we struggled, yes, but if we just won the games against teams like Newcastle, Palace at home, Palace away, we would have got third there and there. So if you can now really get in, maximise points against those type of teams where Arsenal are better than, in terms of on paper at least, then I think it's possible that we can get higher up the league. But third for now, I think it's realistic.
Okay. Somebody asked me this yesterday. They said to me, if you were to sign 4 to 5 players of quality, do you think that's enough to win the league or at least challenge?
It all depends on also how our current players are. You know, Saka is going to get better and better year after year after year. These players are still 22. The players that Liverpool have and City have are in their peak. That's the max they are. So to really compare Saka to Mahrez, for example, it's going to be hard because Mahrez has got so many years of experience and he's been there for so long that Saka has to get to that level of consistency. And it's a massive ask because when you fight for a title, it's a different level of pressure. You can't drop a single point. You know, when you're fighting for top 4, you can draw a certain game, you'll get away with it. And if you're fighting for a title, as Liverpool showed last year, they lost like 2 league games all season and they couldn't win the title. So it's a long ask. I'd say give it a year at least before we start talking about titles. But yeah, I can see why fans are excited, man. I can't help it. Be excited, I say. I'm not Josh Kroenke actually, so I'm not gonna say that. But look, it is what it is.
That's it for today, Bhavs. Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I think you've basically given me the title of my next video, The Revenge Season, the Revenge Tour, because we've had enough slander for the whole summer, my friend. Honestly, you've seen it. You've probably gotten it in your chat. But you know what? You're a brave guy. You go up against the whole Chelsea fan base with a sword. I buckle after like a couple of tweets. I start deleting my old tweets. You just keep them up.
No, it's just football's about those rivalries, man. I'm not meant to like Chelsea's team, and then I'm gonna like Arsenal. Yes, sometimes they step boundaries, but look, if you put yourself out there, you're gonna have to expect that nowadays. Especially when people hide themselves. It is what it is. But I don't really care about Chelsea or Spurs or whoever like that. It's just a matter of if you come in my team's way or slander my team, just remember that I will keep a note of that. Just any of these teams I've gone for, by the way, that's only because I've seen them going for Arsenal. If those fans were nice and quiet, I'd be so as well, right? I'm just taking, like Arsenal might have a revenge tool, same for me. I like revenge, you know. I think, thankfully with me, I'm blessed with a platform now where I can be a voice sometimes and I can fight back for my club. And obviously I'm going to defend my club. I'm always going to do that. So if I can slander Chelsea for that, so be it.
There you go. Let's get it going, people. You guys have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. Big up Bhavs. The link to his channel is in the description, as you guys know. But you guys already probably know Bhavs' channel just by seeing the name in his little thing, Bhavs14. And check out EGTV. Don't forget to hit that like button. We'll be back tomorrow. I have a new show coming out. It's going to be a panel of 5 guests. It's going to be called the Invincible 5. We're going to be doing it every Tuesday. I don't know. You like the name? Your eyes wide.
Sounds good. Yeah, Invincible 5 is nice.
And I have Vibes from the 6. So I have the Toronto Vibes from the 6 where I talk about all the other Premier League teams, and I have the Invincible 5. So that's my new panel show. I need to get some shows so I don't have I'm not over exhausting myself doing a show every day. It can get crazy doing an hour stream every day. But yeah, have a good day, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. And do me a favor, if you've gotten this far, leave a comment down below what you thought about our opinions. Bhavs' revenge tour, me saying if we get 4 players, we can challenge. Let me know what you guys think. Anyways, we're off, people.